Today's AskReddit post. What is one thing that instantly makes you think this person has no manners? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. Hung out with a coworker once and he threw all his garbage out the window of his car onto the street. Never hung out with him again. I saw someone throwing trash out the car in front of me. Who does this? Why would anyone think that's okay? I honked and flipped off the driver in front of me after he threw trash out his window, then he threw a McDonald's Coke at my car. If someone's trashy enough to litter out their window, he definitely is the type of person to throw stuff at your car. I accidentally cut someone off while driving, and I had my windows down. They pulled up beside me and spit in my car, then threw a Coke can. I couldn't believe it. Littering is on a whole different level. It's not just being rude like most things in this thread. It's choosing to actively damage your local area and wildlife. It makes me so angry. When I see someone throw shit out of their car, it makes me wish I had twisted metal style missiles I could shoot at them. Think of the litter that would create. If you want to make an omelette, you have to break some eggs. When grocery shoppers leave their carts in the middle of the aisle instead of pulling over, the grocery store is a cesspool for inconsiderate people. IDKY, this brings out the worsts in humans. People who leave their cart in the middle of the parking lot. People who dead stop to turn around without looking and crash into someone else's cart. People who exit an aisle into the main aisle without stopping and crash into someone else's cart. People who spend an absurd amount of time looking at a particular meat section so everyone else has to wait. People who bring an entire cart full of food to the express lane. People who park in the middle of the driving lane and block traffic because the close spots are taken up. I could go on all day about how much I hate grocery shopping, lol. When they walk into an elevator before you have a chance to get off. Same W buses and subways. Some girl did this in a building I was in once and I said, you know it's polite to wait for people to get off before you barge on, and she just screams, I know. Ha, I was at work and getting off the elevator. This woman tried to walk through me. She said, oh I'm sorry, Tahi, but continued to try and push through. I said, if you're sorry then why are you still trying to push through me? Her expression sunk like this was the first time anyone had ever called her on her bullshit. The guy with her laughed and said, maybe you should let him out first, and guided her out of the way. Blasting music on the bus. Absolute twats. Yeah, absolutely. I hate those kind of people. No one wants to listen to your shitty music, especially on a bus on the way to work or something. People who leave their litter and uneaten food all over fast food restaurant tables and the floor area. Edit. Having read every response to my post, I now clearly understand that social norms differ greatly. Thank you for the insight. Not saying thank you when someone buys you dinner or sends you a gift or anything. Showing gratitude is good for everyone involved. Bruh, who are you buying dinners or sending gifts who is not replying with at least thank you? My husband. Face with tears of joy. Smack his bitches. Tell him no titty time unless he shows you some goddamn respect. Edit. The smacking was a joke. The no titty time thing was terrible thinking on my part. I apologize if I offended anyone. What you should take away from this comment is that you should show gratitude to others. Thank you. He's a kind man. I think just some people never learned common courtesy stuff like that. He's learning now. Being an asshole to the waiter or waitress. My stepmom is the worst at this, and usually tips like $2 regardless of cost, even with 4 people at a nice restaurant. I try to throw a 5 or 10 on the table after she leaves. It's so embarrassing in all aspects. Tipping sucks. I hate it. I tip. And I tip well. But I don't like it. Same. I think it's stupid to tip someone for doing their job. I feel that waiters and waitresses at that too because they have to rely on the goodwill of others to make money. People that don't put their weights away at the gym. God, this pisses me off so much. Not everyone has the same lifting routine as you, Chad. I threw my back out pretty badly and the free weight machines were the only ones that didn't hurt me for some reason. Trying to lift a 20 kilogram weight from heights above your waist with cooked spaghetti for a back is painful. I had to ask someone to help me move weights so I could use the machine once. So embarrassing, right? I don't go to the gym because I'm already strong. There are plates that I can't move. I go to the gym because I'm weak. I'm a middle-aged lady with cancer. I can't lift the 45-pound plates. Not right now. Anyway, edit, clarity, and confirmation that I am a potato with spaghetti arms. You're doing it all wrong. You're supposed to become a beefcake and then get yourself an expensive membership to show off. People who click their fingers at waiting or bar staff. I have been working in bars, restaurants for most of my adult life now and I am loving every second of it, but when this happens I honestly have to contain myself to not burn their house down. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Period. Every time someone snaps at me, I bump them to the end of the line and they wait longer. Put a sign on the bar that is clearly visible to everybody, saying every time you snap your fingers to a waiter, your order is placed last of all. Be kind. Or to be cheekier, remember, snapping means do not disturb me. We wait staff know you want your privacy, so kindly giving us a snap will indicate you do not wish to be served. Thank you. When they turn everything into a one-up contest, you think you have it bad? I know a guy who's way worse. Can't be anywhere as bad as this guy I know. Reminds me of these twins that both had it. Just as bad. Yelling at retail workers. Most recently about wearing masks or putting hand sanitizer on. It takes little to no effort and people lose their minds over it. Some people just hate being told what to do or doing the same thing as everyone else. There's people who refuse to drink water because too many health nuts and doctors told them it's good for you. I had a middle manager type once who would order you to do something at the exact moment he noticed you starting it on your own. It was like he was trying to rob you of your initiative and pass it off as his leadership, and it was one of the most infuriating things ever. I would probably still drink water, though. People who act mean towards others for apparently no reason. I got this friend who always talks down to younger people and I'm like, you need to gain people's respect. Don't take it for granted. That just makes me think they're a bad person, not one without manners. I know people who are well-mannered and sociable who say or do incredibly mean-natured things. I really despise passive-aggressive cruelty. I believe it's something people get away with far too easily. On one hand, I agree that you should have to earn an elevated level of respect. But everyone also gets a base level of respect to start with. I don't speak at or down to someone just because they're younger or not as informed as I am. That's just rude and inconsiderate. I speak to people the way I would like to be spoken to. If they choose not to extend the same courtesy back, only then will my tone change. This is my mindset also. I don't care if you're a burger flipper, my boss, or the president. Everyone starts at baseline that every decent human deserves. Based on their actions and words after that point they can move up or down on the respect ladder. Talking over people. If someone is talking stfu and listen, when they're finished you can tell your shitty story, not halfway through someone else's. Edit. While my inbox is being destroyed from orbit, I've learned that people with ADHD can't help it and we should be a little more understanding when they butt into conversations. I've also learned some people are cock and balls and never shut up. Interrupting these people is okay, unless they also have ADHD, in which case refer to the previous point. I'm staying with my mom right now and she's always doing this to her husband. I feel so bad for him. God, I have a co-worker that does this like he thinks it's some power move or something to interrupt somebody in a meeting. I cringe every time it happens. Real power move. After Dave has finished his verbal diarrhea, you say thank you for your contribution, Dave. Sorry, Carl. You were saying? Roughly translates to shut the duck up, Dave. No one ducking cares. Sorry you had to suffer this, imbecile Carl. Please continue where you left off. I mean, you could go with the rough cut edit, but that's Mad Lib material. Would be legendary though. This kind of office savagery will take you all the way to the top. Then you can shit on Dave some more from your big new office. Apartment neighbors who slam their doors as hard as they can. Damn. My last apartment had heavy doors that would forcefully close shut on their own. I'd walk in, Forget that the damn door is about slam shut with the power of thunder and sprint back trying to catch it and slow it down. I usually made it, but I know I woke some people up with that thunderstorm of a door when I didn't catch it. Oh god, my current apartment front door is like that. It stresses me out bad as I don't like causing loud noises. I always feel like a failure when I don't slow mine down in time. Edit. I am already looking into something that can slow the door down. That doesn't piss off my complex management. The stupid door almost hit me in the face while bringing in groceries. Inviting everyone in the friend group to an event and excluding just one friend, then proceeding to talk about how much fun they're going to have at said event in front of the person that was purposely excluded, in front of everybody. Happened today and thought it was pretty rude. Overstaying your welcome or inviting yourself to things. I had a friend who wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, get the hint. It's midnight and you've been here all day. Edit. To explain a bit more, I am not talking about someone who just doesn't get hints because they are oblivious. I'm talking about someone who will make excuses and guilt trip their way into staying even after clear reminders that they need to leave soon. Or even just saying to them it's time for them to get out. If you don't get hints, that's totally okay as long as you understand when someone asks you to leave. I stand up, yawn and say, well, you must be tired. I've kept you here too late. I'll let you get home now. While getting their coat, if weather appropriate. My friend gets the hint, he just ignores it. I'll tell him it's late and I would like for him to go home. Cue the whining. Eventually I just started meeting up with him at his house so I could leave when I wanted. That sounds awful, but great adapting on your part. Not worth ending a friendship over, but still annoying. Not saying thank you to stuff like someone holding a door open for them or a waitress refilling their drink. When you offer your time and money to drive someone and they don't thank you for the ride. When you give someone a ride and they leave their empty soda can or coffee cup in your cup folder. I have bad memory, so if that were to ever happen, that would probably be because I forgot about it. People who cut their nails on public transportation. Do your grooming at home. I saw some crazy woman pulling the dried skin from her lips and putting them beside the window. What made you think she was crazy? Leaving piles of your skin for the next person to accidentally rest their arm on is common courtesy, honestly. SSSS. OMG, a snake. So I have a roommate who I'm entirely convinced has absolutely no manners whatsoever. For context, I live in the barracks, so I have no choice but to live with this guy. I have 1.5 million stories about this guy, but I guess I'll start with the basics. Doesn't clean up after himself, and refuses to help clean, even if he's a guest in someone else's home. Chain smokes vapes in people's cars. Flicks ash out the window, but everyone knows that literally will just kick it back into the Jeep. Tries to constantly teach people things, and will talk your ear off and basically just dominate the conversation. No listening or allowing for a different perspective. Methodica literally introduced himself to me as the smartest man in any room. He plays music and sings in the shower at 4, 5, 6 in the morning and will take 45+ minute showers, 20 minutes to sit on the toilet and 25 to have his concert. The last straw for me was when I came home on leave and saw his flashlight sitting out in the common area table. We've stopped inviting him to places. He sits in his room alone playing Xbox all day because I'm not responsible for teaching a 21-year-old child basic manners. It's not happening. I had the best roommate when I was in the barracks. Dude was weird as duck, but we both cleaned. Both chipped in on stuff we needed for the room. Used headphones. Was considerate. Never really talked to me. We both would offer the other some food when we ordered something. Neither of us ever really knew the other was even there. It was great. We still never talk sometimes. Best friend I ever had. People who don't use turn signals. Shit drives me crazy. I can't even fully understand why this makes me so angry. I am a generally calm person. I'm not hot-headed at all. But when someone doesn't use a turn signal, my blood boils so fast it's insane. I think in my mind I assume if you can't operate the most basic function of your vehicle mandated by the law, then you have no business driving at all. I agree. I also can't even fathom not using the turn signal for any reason, because when you've been driving for long enough it becomes an automatic movement. Like as soon as I think shit I need to turn left, my hand turns on the signal. How can you not use it? When you're right behind them and they let a door slam in your face instead of holding it for you. I accidentally did this to somebody yesterday. Didn't realize they were behind me and I felt bad. People who don't say anything when they walk up to my desk and I say, "How can I help you?" It's rude and takes literally 5 seconds to speak to me instead of shoving a paper in my face. I stand there politely and wait for them to wrap up their train of thought and remove their headphones, then address them. I think it depends on the workspace. People who chew with their mouth open. It's disgusting and drives me ducking crazy. My father open mouth chews. As a child it bothered me so much that I'd plug my ears at the table and refuse to eat. My parents' solution was to exaggerate it and eat even more noisily, and I'd have to go hungry if I chose to plug to my ears rather than eat, so I'd go without dinner quite often. If anything, it only made me hate the sound more. My parents used to mock me smacking on my food when I was 5. I hate the sound. They never did it to my little brother, which made me hate it when he'd eat. He was only a baby. I still lose my cool if people smack. My parents used to mock me for all my bad manners, like talking with my mouth full or wiping my hands on my clothes. Guess which 2 people in my life both do that constantly now? Haha, you have terrible manners because you're a kid and we haven't bothered to teach you any. Aren't our parental failings such a great joke? S. Obviously. Cutting in line. Arguing with a worker about expired coupons. Really? Arguing with a worker about anything? It's not like those folks have any real power, and all you're doing is making their lives harder. When people hack up a big phlegm and spit on the sidewalk. Edit. I've traveled abroad but lived in the States most my life. I hadn't considered what a huge cultural difference it is. I suppose the American obsession with personal hygiene is evident. Oh my god, anytime I see or hear this I start to dry heave. Yeah, my sister does that and it's not a medical condition, so I'm visibly disgusted. Dude, I have a medical condition but like carry a ducking napkin. Bath. Slow walkers taking up the entire sidewalk. Sidewalk is for regular walking, not fancy walking. As a member of the Ministry of Silly Walks, I would like to remind you of our populace's right to walk as silly as they wish, wherever they wish, whenever they wish, unless you're doing some foolish walk, like a standard with a pause every other step or a half swing maneuver every third pace. Coughing or sneezing without covering your mouth. I had a customer in the shop I work in who pulled his mask down to cough. People who let their kids watch annoying ass YouTube videos in public places without headphones. Pure trash. I swear you couldn't escape the Frozen soundtrack a few years ago because of this shit LMAO. Leaving their rubbish at a fast food restaurant. Most offenders are parents who think it's their day off, or teenagers that have learned this behavior from said parents. Speaking over others. The worst. I was still talking. Snapping fingers at someone. God, that's so ducking rude. Just speak to me like a human being. Not saying please or thank you. When they speak extremely loudly in public. I dated a guy in college who would do this, although he did it while sober. One time a lady who was sitting next to us at a restaurant asked him to stop speaking so loudly, which was mortifying. It would get progressively louder and louder the more he drank. He was also big on being an arsehole to waiters, waitresses, and was a lousy tipper. No matter how big the bill was, he would never tip above $2. Are the men we date when we're young and stupid? Face with rolling eyes. Standing in the middle of the aisle at a grocery store, not returning the cart. Edit. Formatting. People whose only conversation style is monologue. In their defense, some people have lived a very isolated and or sheltered life, and have no idea how to talk to other people. Source. Myself. If anyone has any idea on how to fix, I'll happily take suggestions. If you are used to talking, use it to your advantage. Force open-ended questions into your side of the conversation and use them as breaks. What do you think? Have you ever had that happen? How about you? If you realize you've gone for a bit, be honest and apologetic. Sorry. Got excited. My bad. Please go ahead. In groups, construct openings so that others can talk. I think X had something. Sorry, Y. What did you want to say? The difficult part is to discipline yourself to allow silence. Both cede the floor when you offer the conversation back and let it go when the conversation wants to die. It takes practice, but it's less a difficult task and more of a case of diligence and breaking habits. Overall, solid advice, but avoid being overly apologetic. Keep it short and sweet and you'll be okay. Details should come with a request of further elaboration. Keeps the conversation more rich, and if they don't ask, they probably weren't interested. Like, don't reveal where you did it, how you did it, why you did it, or where you hid the body. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.